bomb throwers, or anti-authoritarian rebellion. Christianity, in contrast, is often seen as the defender of order, tradition, and institutions. But Ellul's insight turns this conventional view on its head. He argues that there is a forgotten, perhaps even suppressed, dimension of the biblical message. A message that critiques power, resists coercion, and offers radical freedom. Let us begin where Ellul begins, his own story. He was not born into the Christian faith. His conversion came later, after years of political and philosophical searching. Early in his life, he found himself repelled by fascism, disappointed by communism, and drawn toward anarchism. Yet, as a Christian, he constantly encountered the claim that these two worldviews, Christianity and anarchism, are fundamentally incompatible. So Ellul posed a question. Must Christians always side with the state, with power, with authority? Or does the Bible itself contain seeds of resistance? He was not trying to convert anarchists to Christianity, nor was he trying to compel Christians to become anarchists. Rather, he was calling for intellectual honesty, to examine whether Christianity has been co-opted by institutions of power, and whether anarchism might actually recover something essential in the Christian message. And here is the heart of the problem. Christianity, as it has often been lived and institutionalized, has become something other than what its founding texts proclaim. Ellul is unflinching. He acknowledges Christianity's historical failures, its alliances with empires, its complicity in violence, its justifications for social hierarchies, and its transformation into moralism and conformity. He reminds us that the early church had a radical gospel that was slowly replaced by a religion of the state, which made obedience to authority a virtue and resistance a vice. But the Bible itself tells a different story. From the prophets of Israel to the message of Jesus, there is a current of deep suspicion toward political power. Jesus, Ellul reminds us, never established a hierarchy. He washed his disciples' feet, not their minds. He denounced the religious and political authorities of his day and was executed as a threat to the imperial order. And yet, the religion that bears his name has too often sanctified the very powers that crucified him. Ellul's point is not to romanticize anarchy, nor to call for violent revolution. On the contrary, he insists on a non-violent anarchism rooted in community, persuasion, and freedom. For him, Christian faith should never be a tool of coercion, nor a justification for domination. It should be a summons to liberation, not only from sin, but from all false gods. Science needs Jesus because it can't get off the ground. Like, before you do science, you have to say, like, the external world is real.
Uniformity of nature is true, but we can only know those things through the Bible. Those are only proven through the Bible. So you would have first believe the Bible to be have a foundation that then you could do science. Otherwise, no scientific claim would be justified.
And guess who is PMARS?
Yo, it's PMARS.
Famous PMARS.
Yes.
Okay, so I just came up to ask, why do you disagree with the EPOA?
Well, because like for one, I don't think suffering is a problem. I think in Christianity, it's like an experience to be shared with Jesus.
So it's a good thing.
Is it a good thing? I mean, it can be. I think it's like neutral, right? Like it could be good, it could be bad.
Neutral. So like, if God forbid, great, blah blah blah, I start suffering, you don't think that's going to be a bad thing or a good thing, just neutral?
It depends. Like, reading could be a bad thing, right? If you like, I don't know, read things that like if you read things that would be harmful to you, like reading could be bad, right?
Okay, sure. Do you think that suffering can be a bad thing?
Sure.
Okay, right. So why do those cases of suffering exist?
Well, because God uses like bad, evil things for good, like the crucifixion. That was like the greatest evil.
To the greater good.
No, it's not the greater good. It's that God is so good, he can use evil things for good. Like a doctor, like chemotherapy is bad, right? Chemotherapy causes suffering and it's like destroys you. But the doctor uses something evil for good to like cure your cancer, right?
Well, I wouldn't take it to be evil.
Chemotherapy?
No, I wouldn't take that to be evil.
Okay, get off my panel.
Why is it evil? What?
My dad said he would, if he ever got cancer again, he would die. He went through chemotherapy, and he said that he would never go through chemotherapy again. He'd rather die.
Yeah, it's a horrible experience to go through. Not denying that. I'm just saying, like, it's good and so far.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, I don't want to interact with you anymore because you're just being argumentative, and it's like I think you're a loser. I think you should go away. Well, I'm serious. Like I don't have time for this nonsense.
I'm not argumentative at
Okay,
all.
I am not interested in your explanations. We're done. Like I don't debate flat earthers. Like I put you in the category of flat earther because you're being ridiculous. So there's nothing you can do will save this. It's over.
Do you really think it's silly to think that chemotherapy is not evil?
Okay, I'm just gonna ignore you. So you can just sit there. You can just sit there like a fucking freak. Because I've asked this guy to leave and he won't leave. So now he's harassing me.
Is that what harassment means?
Yes. Literally what it means.
Well, look, I was just trying to have an honest discussion.
So I'm being harassed.
You're not being harassed.
I'm being harassed.
Why are you always in a bad mood, Piedmont?
I'm not in a bad mood. I'm being harassed.
It's in for
I'm being harassed.
We're good buddies. I don't know why you're upset.
Rape me. You're raping me.
What? Why are you saying that?
Because it's true. Because I asked you to leave and you're forcing yourself on me.
All because I forcing myself.
You're forcing yourself
I'm
on
forcing
me.
anything.
I asked you to leave. So you're forced now you're forcing yourself on me.
I'm not. I
Okay.
clearly think it's fine for me to be there.
Okay, go ahead and rape me then.
Check, 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 check.
Rape me. Rape me, my friend. Rape me. Rape me again. What's up, Han Scolo? I'm getting raped.
He must. I don't give a
I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. Rape me. My friend. Like, think about all the people he's raped. I'm not the only one. These people are just running around free raping people. Isn't that crazy? What a world, huh? Yeah, but it's fucked up. Like, you shouldn't exist. Because it's just like fucked up that we allow people like you to just go around raping people. And no one does anything about it.
saying that, like it's gonna evoke some reaction.
Well, you're forcing yourself on me.
I'm forcing myself on you. You let me up.
I asked you to leave.
Yeah, and you didn't kick me, so.
So you're not leaving. So you've been asked to leave. You won't leave, which means you're forcing yourself on me.
I'm trying to make things up to you.
Go ahead, rape me. Yeah, I love it.
Look, all I said was chemotherapy is not evil. That's what I said.
Oh my god. Yeah, I love the rape. Keep raping. Don't stop.
Bro, you need to. I don't know why.
I love it when you rape me.
All because of the evidential problem of evil makes Christians go crazy.
I don't think it's a problem. Like, first of all, you would have to like justify why evil's wrong. Because if evil's not wrong, then your argument falls apart. If evil's not wrong, then your argument falls apart.
No, you can't be all good and allow evil, this amount of evil to exist. That's the critique.
Yeah, but you still need to justify that it's wrong. That you have to justify
No, you
that.
don't.
Yeah, you do.
That's not the EPOE.
Yeah, it is.
The EPOE is saying is a contradiction. That's what it's saying.
No, that's
Yeah,
that's the LPOE. You're confusing the two.
No.
Oh my god, you're so stupid. This
LPOE
what an
is saying
incredible
that
blunder.
Why would evil exist? EPOE is about the amount of evil, the gratuitous evil.
What a blunder.
That's correct. You see the contradiction of reducing the
Yeah,
probability
dude,
existed.
you blundered.
You've never read
So
the
you're
EPOE.
not only are you rapey, but you're bad at philosophy and you're blundering.
I'm bad at philosophy.
Yes,
Yeah, what's your theory of justification?
rape.
Oh, okay.
Rape. I justify my position by like when someone asks me to leave, I go, no, I'm not gonna leave, and then I just like rape the shit out of them, right?
That's
So,
not what great means.
it was Hegel's idea.
Hegel said that? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Welcome, Beethoven, to your doom.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Why? What's wrong with Calvinism?
They destroy it. It doesn't make any sense. Like they say that you can't choose God. That God like causes you to choose Him.
Why would that be false? Are you saying that free will exists?
Because that's not what the Bible says. The Bible, God is constantly saying to choose me. So then to say, well, you can't choose Him, that's doesn't make it goes against what the Bible says. That's the problem.
Okay, interesting.
The Bible is supreme.
I look, you think Christianity wouldn't make any sense if there was no free will.
Nothing would make sense without free will.
Calvinism would make sense.
You wouldn't be able to evaluate truth claims.
And you would determinedly evaluate them. Bible doesn't endorse slavery. Isn't indentured servitude slavery?
Could be.
I like this music.
The Bible's
Okay, go ahead.
the necessary precondition for freedom. You couldn't have freedom without the Bible.
Okay, but slavery does exist for him.
Oh my gosh. In reality,
Indentured servitude is not consensual.
not necessarily.
No, absolutely not. They can't clearly revoke consent if they're in debt. Beethoven, what is your favorite song by Beethoven?
Moonlight Sonata, third movement.
Moonlight Sonata. Wait, you played the piano?
Piano on Beethoven.
Well, that's tough, that's tough.
Come on.
But I wonder.
Come on. I'm Beethoven. I don't think the Bible's 100% true.
Yes, you do.
This message, I'm deaf and angry.
You think the Bible's true, you're lying.
What do you think about that, P-Mars?
He did the Charlie Kirk song. Yo, what's up, guys?
Hey, I'm just this little mental hospital I got going on here.
I'm mentally ill.
Would you like to be another
Question,
patient?
man.
Yeah,
What's 1 plus 1 plus 1?
3.
Don't answer that, don't.
What do you mean don't answer that? You said 3.
You can get bananaed if you say certain numbers under 18.
What?
You can get bananaed if you say numbers under 18.
Is that true?
Yeah, because it will report for age, and because you said a number, you don't give a fuck because of AI. Yeah, I'm not man for saying 1 5. I just said no, so
Are you a Christian though?
no, I'm not talking to with anything.
Oh, the one you're talking to is a Christian.
Yeah, but he doesn't like me, so
What about this Beethoven guy?
Beethoven?
Beethoven.
He's gay.
Beethoven.
Beethoven? Yeah.
That's okay. You can say it like that. That's
Does
okay.
the Bible say sola scriptura? Yes.
Well, Beethoven.
The early church did not reject it, Daniel. The early church was sola scriptura.
P-Mars, shut up for a second. We're talking.
It wasn't until after the Reformation they denied sola scriptura. So the church was sola scriptura for 1,500 years.
How many Bible like books are there? There's Paul, John. How many are there?
66.
Jesus. How do you read all that? Have you read all of them?
No.
No. How come like people who read the Quran can remember it, but like it's harder for Christians?
I don't think they want to remember it.
We might all have to become Muslims.
They have a lot of time to read.
Bro,
They have more time to read. They have more time to
your
read.
brain, we welcome you to Islam, bro.
They have more.
Muslim?
Yeah, man.
I think you should talk to P. Mars about that.
What?
P. Mars has thoughts about Muslims.
Who?
The host has thoughts about Muslims.
Oh yeah, no shit. He's a Christian.
I'm not famous in Islam.
I heard that Christians in the Quran, if they pay the tax and practice for Allah, they can stay Christian and go to heaven. Is that true?
No, that's not true.
Oh,
Are you talking about the jizya tax?
I think so.
Yeah, man. They pay the tax to just live in the society, and they're free from the army, free from services. But you gotta convert like every other religion to go to heaven.
Why is he sending me to hell for not picking Allah?
For now, what?
For not converting? Why should I go to hell?
Because it's true, man.
Yeah, but why should I do things? If I do things that are wrong, I should go to hell.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, if you're given clear guidance and you choose bad or good, then God's gonna send you to hell, yeah.
Also, I'm just really stupid.
If I don't have clear guidance.
Also, I'm just really stupid, so I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, that's a good question. If you don't have clear guidance, then God will test you in a different way. You gotta have the message clear and simple.
How the hell am I gonna know when I'm gonna get this message?
Yeah. So yeah, if you don't, then you're not responsible, and you're probably not gonna go to hell.
Or is he gonna speak in my head?
What?
Yeah.
Or is he gonna send me a phone call or something? What message?
They failed at the talks.
Like if you hear about Islam, if you hear
Now they
about
want to
Islam,
blockade the strait.
Farmers hustle. Farmers hustle. You run the blockade us, we already run the muscle. Blockade our blockade, go ahead, try your luck. You scared to come close,
Keep running. What the fuck?
talks fell apart. Now you screaming blockade, but we already control the flow. We set the rate. Every ship pays total stays away from the gate. You threaten to stop us.
Boy, you're way too late.
Gas prices rising, your allies in panic mode while we sit back laughing. Y'all digging your own hole. You talk real big, but your Navy stays far. Scared of our mines and missiles.
That's who you are.
Almost hustle. Almost hustle. You wanna blockade us? We already run the muscle. Blockade our blockade. Go ahead, try your luck. You scared to come close?
Keep running. What the fuck?
What happened to boots on the ground? Where's the invasion? So tough now, you're hiding in hesitation. You begged to ceasefire, then ran back. The threats couldn't handle the table, so you're making new plans. What's the waiting for those boots? You promised to stand. Come on, Daddy, bring 'em, we'll give you the welcome you deserve in the end. Keep bluffing, keep running, keep playing, pretend.
Almost is ours. You just lost again. Sacred defense. We control the flow. Boots on the ground. We still waiting, bro. Yeah.
Almost hustle.
Okay, so what assures you that there's no God?
Right. The reason why I think there's no God because I think that if he is the thing that is the type of thing that's all good, then I think there's too much evil in the world to explain why explain his existence.
And the thing is, God gives human beings free will, and evil comes out of them.
Why would he create the capacity to create such grotesque acts?
What?
Why did God create us to be able to have the ability to do such disgusting acts to each other?
Yeah, so God created you innocent, and you're given a choice to either do good or to either do bad.
Yeah, but clearly I have things like intrusive thoughts of doing disgusting acts that I cannot control, right?
Yeah,
And
no,
in
everyone
case,
does. So.
why did God create that feature?
That's the point to test you
Ooh,
if you're a good human being or not.
to
What?
test you.
I think, why didn't God test me in a different way?
Why did God test?
By
Why
not
did
giving
he give me a
intrusive
Muppet
thoughts about
voice?
unaliving a child on the street.
Then it wouldn't be a test then.
Why did God give
There's
me
different
such a
kinds
stupid
of
voice?
tests.
Why did God give me a Muppet? Why did God make me sound like a Muppet? Why?
Oh, yeah,
Why did God make me sound like this?
Yeah, Precept thinks it's like for the betterment when children get grades. They might build their soul.
Yeah, so the point is, if you don't have the thought of doing bad things, then it isn't a test. If you're just doing good all the time and there's no chances of you or thoughts of you doing evil, then it's not a test. There's no point.
What?
making you want to kill kids.
Debunked.
What type of test? I can still be a bad person and not kill kids, right? So why
are you guys taking the extreme examples?
Well, of course I would. They exist.
Yeah, but that's a small minority.
So what?
Are
They
you-
exist.
Are you pro-choice?
I'm pro-life.
You're pro-life?
Yeah.
Are you a Christian?
No.
Why are you pro-life?
Because we need to save little babies.
You're such a liar.
Yeah, I'm lying. Pro-choice.
Okay, there, I got him. So he doesn't even care. He doesn't even care about the lives of children. He's acting for the sake of argument. This is why I didn't. This is why I. Which is why I asked him to leave in the first place. Because he's disingenuous.
First, I think you can get an abortion to defend the mother against the harm of pregnancy. That's why.
Right. So you don't care about. So you only pretend to care about the lives of children to win an argument. You are So people like this will just pretend. They will pretend to have positions and views that they don't actually have for simply the sake of winning an argument, which is why I asked him to leave. Exposed.
You don't think I'm pro-choice?
Under what measures are you pro-choice?
Oh my
I
God.
think the first time I think
Does he not even get it? The whole point is your pro-choice. The whole point is your pro-choice. That's the whole point.
Even if I was wrong about abortion and it's actually a bad thing, doesn't support your view about newborns getting eyeworm cancer.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I'm just saying you saying it is pretty ironic, dude.
Wait,
Exactly.
we didn't think. Okay, let's just accept.
Even the Muslim can figure it out.
Let's just accept I'm completely wrong.
Even the
about abortion.
Muslim,
That
guys.
doesn't support your view,
I
right?
never said it did.
Okay, great. So let's focus on
Even
that.
the Muslim.
Right, clearly, let's say I have a world in which I didn't have thoughts and nobody else had thoughts about unaliving newborns. Okay, could I still be tested about other things about my character? Well, yeah, there could be good.
Yes.
Okay, so why does a specific evil need to exist?
Because there's Satan who deceives.
Because Satan.
Why did he create Satan?
Because Allah. Because Allah. Allah. Allah.
Why did he create Satan?
Because Allah.
Why
Allah.
did he
Allah.
create Satan to have that specific
Allah.
power to create these specific things?
So if you're asking a Christian or a Muslim,
Yeah, that's fine. Did Allah? Wait, who created the devil?
who created Lucifer? Lucifer was like a righteous angel at the beginning, and then he changed later on.
Yeah, but who created Lucifer?
Allah, of course.
Okay, so did God know that he would turn into the devil?
Yeah, God knows everything.
Okay, so why did God create this person who has the capacity to create influence people to murder children? It's just going to go back to, if he's all powerful, he could have changed the restrictions. We could have still had a test. And look, even if you removed one of these evils,
But he doesn't even think it's wrong to murder children. So what are we doing?
I told you, even if it's the case I'm wrong about abortion doesn't support your view.
Yeah, making him a hypocrite doesn't change the fact that it's still fucked up. You're just critiquing one person.
Are you guys
Imagine a child.
like? You guys are so illogical. The illogic, like, it's so crazy. The brain rot on TikTok, like, that's crazy, bro.
But he did just raise a very good point. What if someone who abused kids was pro-life? He supports kids, but he also does terrible deeds to them. What would he be?
You go to hell.
Go to hell, but he goes against what God's message would be to him, which it's just insane.
So you agree that sending child rapists to hell is good?
But why do they have to exist in the first place?
But is he sending them hell?
What's worse is you could be like one of the nicest people, but if you reject God, you go to hell. But you could be a child rapist and be forgiven.
But you don't know how if you rape a child, though.
Wait, do you think you could be forgiven after you rape a child?
That's a tough question, man.
Look, the point is
It's
that
not wrong to rape a child in Islam. Remember?
oh wow.
What do you mean? Oh wow, that's true.
You agree? You know, there's literally sex slavery in the Bible, right? I can give you the verse.
So he's not disagreeing. I'd like to point out he's not disagreeing with what I said.
You agree? Go to Numbers 31.
He's not disagreeing with what I said.
It says that Moses was commanded to have sex slaves, and specifically little girls.
Is that true, Pimas?
Yeah, that's
You
so
can read it,
true.
bro. I gave you the verse.
It is true.
I can't trust Pimas because I think he's just trolling. He's out of it right now.
Yeah, he is. This is a trolling.
Well,
He's always in a bad mood. I don't get
the
it.
truth is, in Muslim countries right now today.
Breach, can you give me a solution to our universe other than God? How do we come?
Solution? No, I can't.
A solution.
No, there's no viable solution other than God.
What is a solution?
Solution? I don't think God is a solution.
No, how do we
A
come into
solution.
existence?
I don't know.
No, but give me anything that's more logical than God.
I think infinite regression is possible. I know there's a contradiction there.
Yeah.
People have issues with infinite regression,
dude.
but that's
Totally.
obviously up for debate.
Infinite regression, you think it's just an endless cycle?
Yeah, I think that's possible.
How does that work?
What do you mean?
Okay, so an infinite cycle of what? You said we didn't come out of nothing.
Of contingent universes.
Is it Sunday?
No, but you said we didn't come out of nothing, so
Yeah, so infinite regression. We're seeing the cycle has always existed. There was no time when it didn't exist.
okay, but how did it exist?
How did it exist? I don't know how. I don't know. Same reason you don't know how God exists. You just think he's necessary.
God exists because there always has to be a beginning. Because infinite regress is a contradiction.
What?
Infinity
What's the
doesn't
contradiction? Wait,
Infinity
okay, what's the
doesn't
argument for that? What's the argument for that?
What do you mean? What's an argument for that?
Does God exist for infinite time? Like he will never be a point in which he doesn't exist, or stops existing.
Yes, because the beginning isn't.
Does he have infinite power?
Yes, because the beginning isn't necessary.
So infinites do exist.
Yeah, but that's a different type of infinite.
Alright, so how are you contending with my infinite? Okay, why can't this type of infinite regression exist?
Because there has to be a beginning in every cycle.
Wait, a beginning. What's the argument for that?
What do you mean what's the argument for that? So where did the
Have you
cycle
ever heard of
start?
B theory?
No, I haven't.
B theory of time is saying that all things exist simultaneously. Moments are just from perspective. Sorry, relative.
And that makes sense to you?
Yeah, it does. Theory of relativity.
But you still can't tell me how did we come into existence. Like, give me a logical.
The same reason why you think God has always existed, I think the universe has always existed.
Wait, so the universe was there before the point of time?
No, I don't think there was a point where there was no time.
Okay, so what?
I don't think there was a point in which there was no time.
It's pretty easy to understand.
Infinite regression is like a really popular theory amongst physicists. Now, doesn't mean it's true. I get that, right? And there are some interesting issues they like to bring up about infinity concepts, but you haven't done that so far.
Okay, but do you agree with the theory?
Or infinite regression, I think it's the most plausible. Yeah.
More plausible than God.
Yeah. Especially, specifically an all good God. Yeah.
So what about the Big Bang? When did that happen?
Like 13.9 billion years ago. Sorry.
So was that before or after the universe?
Was before the observable universe, but the observable universe is not all of the universe.
So part of the universe.
Yeah, think about it like, let's give an example of like something expanding and retracting infinitely, right? So the center dot, is just the type of thing that represents something that's always existed. And it was saying that the universe expands and eventually will retract, and then over and over again. That would be one example.
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense, bro.
Why? What's so confusing about that?
I didn't understand anything you said.
Look, if there's a singular dot and then it expands into a circle and then it gets bigger and bigger circle and then it retracts, so it
So
goes
it's not
back.
even a single dot?
Yeah, a dot, yeah, but a dot becomes a circle, like the lines expand and now it's a circle, right? Are you following?
Okay, so the dot is the start of the cycle?
But no, it's not the start, it's obviously a relative start to the cycle, but it's not the thing that is there was no nothingness before that point. So again, let me
I
finish.
believe you believe in infinite regress.
I am. You're not listening. Do you know what?
But you said the dot is a beginning.
It's a beginning is just a relative term. Like the beginning of a race, right? I could start the race in the middle of the road, right? Which is relative. That doesn't mean there's no other distance behind that starting point, right? I need to draw this for you.
But there was nothing before the dot, right?
No, there is something before the dot. It's just a relative point in which something happens. Like, do you know a movie, right? If I play a movie, right, the beginning of the movie is not when the intro credits show, but it's when, I don't know, fucking Charlie Kirk comes swinging on a tree. That's the beginning of the movie, right? Now, that's relative to the story, but there is no beginning point because I put the movie on replay. It keeps
Okay, so you're just giving me a
over
point of time.
and over again. Huh?
You're just giving me a point in time.
Yeah, a point in time which we say is relatively the beginning of a new cycle of something different. Let me give you one more example.
That's impressive.
And if you don't get it, you don't get it, right? If I have a movie and I press, do you know the button where I can have it play over and over again? So it gets to the end and then restarts and then over and over again. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's what I'm saying about the universe, right? It's just, the relative point is just when, I don't know, Michael Jackson shows up on stage, and then the end point is when Michael Jackson leaves the stage. But the movie will begin again of him entering the stage again. The show begins when he enters, the show ends when he leaves. But he will always enter the show again.
I get the analogy, but the movie was created together. So you just...
No, you silly boy. What I'm saying to you is, that this is representative of the existence. We think the movie has always existed. The physical copy has always existed. And it's just on replay.
Okay, so can you give me like anything that how should I ask this? I don't know how to form the argument yet. Whatever.
Okay. People are
That's
definitely
a-
listening to this like, this is bullshit.
That's just really like hard to think about, bro. An infinite regress.
You should probably read into it, like what physicists talk about when they infer regression. Like energy can't be created, destroyed. They don't know what happened prior to the singularity, but they never ever say something came from nothing. That's not a common theory.
Okay, so but again, so something didn't come from nothing. So what is that specific something?
We don't know if infinite regression is true. So that something could just simply be the universe as we see it.
Okay, so basically, yeah, but how did it come from?
Atoms,
So
rocks, right? Space, time, they are the things that we think have always existed. We haven't seen a point in which they stopped existing. Oh. My bad, I don't have the answers to the entire universe yet. My bad that I don't have the answers to the entire universe yet.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't blame you for that.
Yeah, I just think it's like ignorant to say that we have the answer to the universe.
I mean, me personally, I think God is only logical. Like when I think about it, I think like everything we see that's created has a creator. So
That's not true.
okay, so how is it not true?
A tree, right, falls over and then it becomes nutrients for the dirt. I have never
Is the tree
those
created?
events. Well, no. What I'm saying to you is that even if the universe was created by God, there are clearly events in which things are not created by God, right?
Like,
If I die and I feed the ground, it might grow. It might give enough nutrients to grow some fucking grass, right? And then the grass is now. I don't know. The whole point I'm trying to these examples are shit, but the whole point is there are natural events that take place in which the human or another intelligent agents get involved. Unless you think God is always working on these mechanisms.
that's different. Your analogy stems with actual agents and actual things being involved. The one we're talking about is how the universe is created, which you can't give me an example of an agent.
Wait, yeah,
exactly.
Why would I? You're saying that everything I've seen has been made by intelligence. Who the fuck? Well, yeah, okay. So when water causes erosion, what agent is doing that?
When water, I mean, I'm not good at it.
Okay, well, if you looked at a river, how like the dirt falls, right, and the rocks start to go further back, it's because of water slowly taking away the parts to the fucking side of the river, okay, called erosion, right? That can cause a landslide, for example. Now, that's not at face value caused by something with intelligence. There's like thousands of examples in nature in which events happen, like tornadoes. Tornadoes aren't caused by intelligence.
When are tornadoes caused by?
The rise in heat of the ocean, and then clouds up from the strong winds.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're giving me examples where they're like agents and like pretty much they created.
Why would I think they were created by an agent? You said everything I see is made by an agent. What agent?
You're talking about a tornado and stems from water or whatever example you gave.
Yeah. Yeah, where's the intelligence there?
And the intelligence comes from the created water. Yeah.
So you're just assuming if God is true, then clearly it's true that fucking God's made by intelligence. But you said, in my world, where do I see places where cause and effect without intelligence? Well, I have, which is the winds, the tornado. I don't see intelligent design or intelligent causation. Now, could it be something that I just can't see? Sure, but that's not a defeater just because it's possible.
My point is the tornado is caused by the water, and it's necessary. It's necessary for created water to have a creator. That's my point.
What's the argument for that?
Because there's no other viable solution that makes.
How do you know that?
Because there's no other theory. That's the point.
Yeah, there is. I gave you an example of a theory. You didn't even reject it. What's the argument for that? What's the argument that God is more logical?
So, what's your specific theory again?
Infinite regression. I think the universe has always existed.
Always existed.
All I've observed in my life are
Can you give me an analogy for that? Can you give me an analogy for that in our universe?
I did with the movie.
Yeah, but that's a terrible analogy. The movie is created.
I'm saying the physical disc has. All I'm saying about the movie, I understand your contention with the analogy, but the point of the analogy was that infinite the infinite representation. Now, the existence of what sustains the universe, the rocks, the atoms, the energy, right? I think they've always existed. I don't think at a point of time where they just began, right? Do I have an example of something other than that that's always existed? Probably not. No. That doesn't mean it's not true. And have you ever observed something being necessary or powerful other than God? No.
Yeah, my point is, even if you use a movie as an analogy, the analogy fails because the movie is played in front of back.
I responded to this already. I added conditions to the movie that's clearly not real about movies.
So yeah, I'm asking for an analogy, and you giving me unrealistic conditions.
They don't have to be based on real cases for them to be an analogy. Can you give an example other than God that's all powerful or good? No, you can't, right? Obviously, God would be the only thing that can. So why would I need to give another case of something that is also infinite, that's always existed, when I only think there's one instance of that, which being the universe?
You're smart, bro.
Sorry, that just caught me off guard.
Yeah, man, like, I'm not really that much into this shit, but
I honestly, if you are that curious, read into infinite regression and what physicists think the universe is what it is, and then make up your mind afterwards, because I think there's a huge gap in knowledge between both of us about infinite regression. There's so much science behind it and reasons why they might think it's true that you and I wouldn't know. P-Mars actually is laughing because he loves, what's his name? Dr. Blitz? Yeah, he loves him. He loves his theory of infinite regression.
So have you ever looked into religions or no?
I haven't read the Bible, I haven't read the Quran, if that's what you're asking. The only thing I've read into is like EPOE, LPOE, which is just arguments against an all good God, that's it.
So if there's like if there's sufficiency inside a book and miracles inside it, would you believe that religion is true?
Sure, but I don't think miracles have taken place.
Like, let's just say prophecies or...
Yeah, if there is a case that a man prophesies about that I'm gonna get a car of this make and it's going to blow up one day, yeah, sure. like those unexplained scientific events that they shouldn't have known. Sure, but clearly there's like some prophecies that don't Muslims think the fucking moon's gonna turn red?
What?
Am I wrong? I swear the
Are you talking
Muslims.
Are you talking about the moon being split?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, we believe the moon was split in a point of time.
Yeah, if the moon splits, yeah, it might be Muslim.
Yeah, but that was like 1400 years ago.
Yeah, but the moon's never split, has it? So Muslims think it's gonna happen one day.
No, we think it already happened.
What? Okay, what's the evidence for that?
What's the evidence for that?
Yeah, that the moon
So,
split
Judge,
at some point.
Yeah, there are mass attestations that
These
people
guys,
people said they saw it.
these guys are retards. So I just stopped talking to them.
Oh my god.
How am I supposed to go back in time and give you video footage of the moon splitting?
Yo,
Fucking
yeah,
Muslims
a
and
mass
shit.
amount of people said,
Can I give you some prophecies?
I asked this guy,
Of Islam?
so I'm on
wait,
TikTok.
show me it.
I asked this guy to leave, and he wouldn't fucking leave. And I'm like, "You're raping me. Get off my panel." And he's like, "No, you invited me." It's like they're fucking sick. Cause like I don't debate flat earthers, right? Because they're unreasonable. So when I'm talking to someone and I'm making an argument and they're being totally fucking unreasonable, it's like I'm done. Like I'm not doing this shit. Like, if you want to like reject logic, that's on you, bro. Like I tried. I gotta sit here forever because they're just bickering with you. They don't even give a fuck about what's true. They're just bickering. Oh yeah, I'm like the best in the world at proving the Bible is true now. So that's what I've been doing. Oh shit, I'm playing Switch. Atheists are basically, they argue like flat earthers. They go, like, I'm like, here's the Christian model of reality, and this is how the Christian model of reality works. You know, like you'd be like, here's the globe Earth model. Well, where's the flat Earth model? So I go, here's the Christian model. Where's the atheist model? And then they're like, you're shifting the burden of proof. The burden's on you to argue for me. So stupid. They literally debate like flat earthers. They're like, atheism is true because there's no evidence for God. Like when they go, the earth is flat because there's no evidence for the sphere. It's an appeal to ignorance or incredulity. I don't understand the sphere model, therefore it's flat. Well, I don't understand how God did this thing, therefore atheism. Shit. No. Yo, there's this like Japanese kid in my game that's crushing. I just beat him though. For America. Well, like I've been studying metaphysics. So like in philosophy, like technically you can't prove anything, right? Because you could just make like skeptical arguments. So then the question is like, well, how do we defeat skepticism? So I argue that we need what so typically we prove things through like empiricism or rational proofs like math and science. But if all we have is math and science, we could never know the truth. Because math can't prove truth exists, and science can't prove truth exists. So truth would just be like a question mark, unless truth is like a person that reveals itself, which is what we have in Jesus.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I was muted.
Yeah, man, I want to ask you what's 1 plus 1 plus
1
1?
plus 1 plus 1 is 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, 1 God plus 1 God plus 1 God is 3 gods, right?
Yeah.
Do you believe in 3 gods?
No, I believe in the triune God of the Bible, which is
The
three.
Father plus the Son plus the Holy Spirit.
The God is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and they're they're just it's just one being with 3 different relationships within one being.
Okay, and they're distinct, right?
Yes.
So it's 1 plus 1 plus 1. Right?
And yeah,
So what is 1 plus 1 plus 1?
it's 3.
So
So
1
there's
God plus 1
this is
God.
that's where we get the tri in Trinity. Tri means 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 God plus 1 God plus 1 God. What does that equal?
It's not it's one person. God is one person plus one person plus one person.
I'll explain to you. There's one person who's fully God. There's another distinct person who's fully God. Plus, there's another distinct person that's fully God. How many gods are there? 1 plus 1 plus 1.
But if the persons are unified in God's nature, so there's just one God.
So you and me are one human being.
No.
We have a unified human nature. We share the same nature.
Yeah, we're 2 beings with one nature. God is one being with 3 persons.
Yeah, but why are we one being? Sorry, why are we 2 beings and God one being? But when your reasoning for God being one being is just that they share the same nature. Seriously, bro, do you actually believe in the Trinity?
A person is not a being.
Yeah, but the persons are distinct from one another. So I'm asking you, why are we not one being? You and me, we're persons, right?
We're 2
Distinct
beings.
persons. No, but we're 2 distinct persons who share the same human nature. Why are we not one being?
Because we are 2 distinct beings, right? God is not a 3.
Why are we 2 distinct beings? We have the same nature.
Okay.
Yeah, so your reasoning for why God is one being is that the 3 persons have the same nature. So I can use that same logic and I can apply it to you and me. I can say that you and I have the same human nature.
We do.
But we're distinct persons, and we would be one being
Why are we one being?
because we share the same nature. That's what he said makes
How
one
do-
being.
No.
You said God is one being.
God
because
is
the 3
one
persons.
being with 3 persons. Yeah.
Why?
That's what he said.
But why?
That's what he said.
Really? He said that in the Bible?
Yes. The Bible
Yes,
says God is one. The Bible says God is one, right?
Okay. Where
And
does
the
it say
Bible
it's
says
3 persons?
what?
Where does it say it's 3 persons, distinct persons?
I'm telling you. I'm trying to tell you. So the Bible says God is one, right?
Okay.
And the Bible says Jesus is God.
Okay.
And the Bible says the Holy Spirit is God.
Okay. And the
So-
Father of God.
There's one God, and Father God, Jesus God and Holy Spirit's God. So that's the Trinity.
There's only one God because the Bible says so. There's no logic behind it.
The logic is God said so. That's the logic.
Okay, so how do you know that the Father is not the Son instead of the Trinity?
The Father is not the Son.
Now, how do you know that the Father? How do you not know that the Father is the Son? Like, why can't that be the case instead of the Trinity? A lot of people believe that the Father is the Son, and the Son is the Holy Spirit, which makes one God. They're just in different forms.
Okay, that's a heresy.
Yeah, but again, how does it go against the Bible? That's the heresy. That's a heresy according to the church. But how does it go
The
against the Bible?
Bible teaches that the Holy Spirit is a person, right?
Okay.
The Bible teaches Jesus is a person and the Father is a
Okay.
person.
Why can't
And
they be
then
the
there-
same person?
Because God is like relational. So like if a human being is incapable of having normal social relationships, we would say that they have like a defect, right? Oh, he left. Yeah, that guy needs to work on his dawa. He needs to do more taqiyya. So in Islam, the Quran teaches something called taqiyya. So Muslims are allowed to lie when they're defending Islam. So they're all liars. They're all liars. Welcome.
Yeah, they're taught to lie.
Yep.
It's silly. It's a cult. It's not a religion.
Yeah. Same with Catholics and the Orthodox.
They idolize things that just don't make sense. All you gotta do is listen to what Jesus said. It was very simple.
So did you want to debate? What's up?
Oh no, I just want to I want to tell that guy that was on there before and just be like, hey man, just because you don't understand what God can do doesn't mean it's wrong. And it's just that with them, they just cannot comprehend that God is an entity and he can do whatever he wants. So trying to limit him by saying, oh, he can't be a human, he can't be a this, what are you talking about? You're trying to compute with your brain what he made you. It just doesn't make any sense.
You're
You're
right.
so lost.
You're right. All right. Well, thanks, man.
Have a good day, man.
You too. White too. Okay. I thought someone else was requesting. Well, no one wants to debate, as usual. See, when you get really good at debating, then they don't want to debate you. Because I'm telling you, the whole debate community, from the bottom to the top, is fake. They're all fake. They don't read. They just parrot like, "Oh, what do dumb people want me to say?" I'll just say whatever my pay pigs want me to say, and they're dumb. I'll just parrot what they think. Like that's literally what debating is. So stupid. So I'm taking a stand, right? No fake anime debating. Let's debate reality. Why is anything real? What's the meaning of life? What's the purpose? Let's examine the fundamental parameters of reality. See, people don't want to do that. They just want to take everything for granted. I would argue that you can't even make an argument without the Bible because you, if there's no absolute truth, why are we even debating? If truth can just be relative and be whatever, and that's the world. They go, oh, a man can be a woman, doesn't matter. Biological reality doesn't matter. We can just change the definitions. It's ridiculous. We need necessary definitions and absolute truths, or else there's no freedom. Orwell said, freedom is the freedom to say 2 + 2 = 4. He's talking about absolute truths. So, like, no matter how powerful the government is, or some rich guy, they can't tell me that 2 + 2 is 5. We're living in a world where the state and the media, these assholes, are telling us 2 + 2 is 5, and there's no absolutes, and man can be woman, and oh, during the pandemic, if we stand 6 feet apart, we'll magically be safe, and you have to believe that. If you don't believe that, we'll censor you. It's craziness. I thought science is supposed to be about asking questions, but during the pandemic, anyone who asked questions lost their job and was silenced. Oh, but let's just pretend that never happened and that we're living in a free society. You guys are nuts. Wake the fuck up. Okay, Nehemiah chapter 4. Opposition to the rebuilding. When Sanballat heard that we were rebuilding the wall, he became angry and was greatly incensed. He ridiculed the Jews, and in the presence of his associates in the army of Samaria, he said, "What are those feeble Jews doing? Will they restore their wall? Will they offer sacrifices? Will they finish in a day? Can they bring the stones back to life from those heaps of rubble, burned as they are?" So fire would weaken and crack the limestone. Tobiah the Ammonite, who was at his side, said, "What they are building, even a fox climbing up on it would break down their wall of stones. Hear us, our God, for we are despised. Turn their insults back on their own heads. Give them over as plunder in a land of captivity. Do not cover up their guilt or blot out their sins from your sight, for they have thrown insults in the face of the builders." The fact that God was being challenged explains the harsh tone of Nehemiah's prayer. Okay, so Nehemiah rebuked them in prayer. It's like a precatory prayer. So we built the wall till all of it reached half its height, for the people worked with all their heart. But when Sanballat, Tobiah, the Arabs, the Ammonites, and the people of Ashdod heard that the repairs to Jerusalem's walls had gone ahead and that the gaps were being closed, they were very angry. They all plotted together to come and fight against Jerusalem and stir up trouble against it. But we prayed to our God and posted a guard day and night to meet this threat. With the walls half built, mere jeering was insufficient, and an open attack was now planned, necessitating both prayer and constant vigil. Meanwhile, the people in Judah said, "The strength of the laborers is giving out. There is so much rubble that we cannot rebuild the wall." Also, our enemies said, "Before they know it or see us, we will be right there among them and we will kill them and put an end to their work." Then the Jews who lived near them came and told us 10 times over, wherever you turn, they will attack us. The persistent rumor of imminent attack discouraged the workers, so they're trying to rebuild the walls in Jerusalem. In Judah, for example, among the Jews, the neighboring Jews repeatedly urged those who were willing to build, who were building, to leave their work and return home to protect their families. That's Satan talking. Therefore, I stationed some of the people behind the lowest points of the wall and at the exposed places, posting them by families with their swords and spears and bows. After I looked things over, I stood up and said to the nobles, the officials, and the rest of the people, don't be afraid of them. Remember the Lord, who is great and awesome, and fight for your families, your sons and your daughters, your wives and your homes. When our enemies heard that we were aware of their plot and that God had frustrated it, we all returned to the wall, each to our own work. From that day on, half of my men did the work, while the other half were equipped with spears, shields, bows, and armor. The officers posted themselves behind all the people of Judah who were building the wall. Those who carried materials did their work with one hand and held a weapon in the other. Each of the builders wore his sword at his side as he worked. But the man who sounded the trumpet stayed with me. Then I said to the nobles, the officials, and the rest of the people, the work is extensive and spread out. We are widely separated from each other along the wall. Wherever you hear the sound of the trumpet, join us there. Our God will fight for us. So we continued the work with half of the men holding spears from the first light of dawn till the stars came out. At that time, I also said to the people, have every man and his helper stay inside Jerusalem at night, so they can serve us as guards by night and as workers by day. Neither I nor my brothers, nor my men, nor the guards with me took off our clothes. Each had his weapon, even when he went for water. You want to jump up there, buddy? So the measures Nehemiah took, seeing that half of his own bodyguard was always armed, alerting each ruler to be ready to lead his group in case of attack, arming the laborers, seeing that each builder had a sword at his side, having a trumpeter always ready to sound the alarm, and urging all who could possibly do so to remain in Jerusalem at night. So people are always trying to take out Jerusalem. What are you doing, buds? Hey. Welcome, neighbor.
Hello.
Hi. What would you like to say?
How do you explain Leviticus 25, 44, 46?
Leviticus 25, 44. I was just
Are you
reading it.
familiar with that verse?
Yeah, I was just reading a note I had on it today.
Do you know what it's about?
Yes.
What's it about?
Leviticus 25, 35 through 43 is about helping poor relatives, including treating Israelite servants and slaves humanely and not ruling over them harshly as they are God's redeemed people. The whole chapter of Leviticus 25 would be against slavery. It's talking
No,
about,
you're mistaken.
I'm not mistaken.
It's pretty plain and simply written there. It says that you can have slaves from another nation that aren't Hebrew, and you can own slaves as long as they're not Hebrew.
That's insane.
And their children are inherited by the master.
That's insane.
And they serve you for life.
Well, don't you like, do you think context matters or do you not care about that?
So do you think there's any sort of context that can just totally wipe what was just said there? And by the way, that's
Yeah.
Mosaic law. That's God's
Yeah.
word. That's his law.
Yeah, the context is like the Exodus, right? So remember
Okay.
the Jews were slaves in Egypt, and then God redeemed them. So what Leviticus 25 is talking about, that context that like I've redeemed you from slavery, so you belong to me. But like
So now
foreigners,
you can go and have your own slaves. Got it. Okay. So now, yeah, you guys were slaves. So to make it even and equal,
Okay.
I'm just gonna let you have your own
well,
slaves.
I don't see the
Got it.
point of this conversation because you're just being ignorant. You're not listening to me.
Oh,
What
yeah,
about
you're the guy you're trying to rationalize slavery, and you're a slavery apologist.
well, I would say the Bible is necessary for freedom. You couldn't have freedom without the Bible.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that what the Confederates thought when they used the Bible to enforce slavery in the
That's
South?
not-
Is that what they thought? Was it really good for freedom then?
That's not the whole story because like
What about all of the slavery that was a result because of what was said in the Bible? People said, "Oh, God said it's okay, so let's go and have slaves for
It
2,000
wasn't-
years."
it wasn't because of the Bible.
Is that
So
freedom?
but you're misrepresenting history. So
I'm not. I'm really not.
yes you are.
You're just picking and choosing what you like to be remembered in history. You want certain things left out, and that's one of the things that you want left out is that Christianity in the Bible, in the Old Testament, is responsible for immense suffering
This is
because
a-
of what was said in it.
This is a book.
It's disgusting, man.
This is a book.
That's a book. Oh,
Yeah.
cool, man. We're talking about the Bible, not that book.
Oh, so you don't care about academic literature? You don't care.
Yeah. What do the academics have to say about it? Have you even read more than a few pages of that book?
I love this
I don't
book.
think you have, man.
I love this book.
That's great.
It says here on page 109, not all at once, but progressively under Christian influence, slavery disappeared in the Roman Empire. That's what it says. Why are you laughing?
That wasn't no. What's the author's name?
Jacques Ellul. Ellul.
You're quoting Jacques Ellul, really?
Yeah,
I think he's a reputable source on this.
yeah, because he's a
It's no wonder you would read his book, and why it's no wonder you'd have that book on your shelf.
He's
It
a-
totally aligns with your preconceived notions.
Well-
He's just a grifter, man.
he's a
If
professor.
you don't know that, then you don't know anything about academic discourse on the matter.
He's a
He's a
professor.
grifter.
He's a professor at the University of Bordeaux in France. He's a
Yeah,
sociologist.
he's a grifter. Right now, you're doing the logical fallacy calling appeal to authority, and he's a grifter.
Appeal to authority, but isn't slavery a socioeconomic institution? So we should be interested in what a sociologist would say about slavery.
Once again, a logical fallacy is not used in place of an argument. You can't do that. And
How is it a
again, he's
fallacy
grifter. If
if-
you don't know that,
So if
then
I
you're
have,
just- you're-
if we're arguing
you're
about
influenced,
math,
and that's a shame.
if we're arguing about math, and I go to a math text,
Once
but
again, that's its own separate logical fallacy. To quote two. You love these fallacies, don't you? That's a whole different
Alright.
matter, man. We're
I
talking
don't-
about theology.
I don't really want to. You're being unreasonable, so I would like you to kindly leave, please.
No, that's good.
So you won't leave?
I'll stay. Yeah, I'll stay.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's weird.
Slavery apologist, man. Look at this guy.
Well, it seems like you don't have a problem with slavery because you're forcing yourself on me.
Oh, am I?
Well,
Dude,
I
public
asked you
space,
to leave.
Are
I
you just
asked
fucking idiots?
I asked you to leave.
This
And
is a
you're,
public space. The internet is public access.
This
You
is
fucking moron.
my-
Kick me if you don't want me here.
my live is a public space.
No, you're just
Why
a
don't you go
dumbass,
do
man.
your
It's
own
the
live?
internet. Get real.
You can do your own live.
Don't be a little pussy.
Okay, so it seems like you're not really against slavery because you want to enslave me.
Oh yeah, sure, man. You'd
Well,
be a great slave. Fucking
Okay.
fat ass.
All right. There we go. This is what they do. Well, why don't we read the let's read some Bible verses then. So Exodus 22:21 says, "You shall not oppress a foreigner."
Ooh, look up Exodus 21:20-21.
Proverbs 22:22, "Do not rob the poor because he is poor, or crush the afflicted at the gate." So that's a warning against exploiting the weak and helpless. So like how do you figure how is that like how can you have slavery if you're commanded not to like rob poor people or crush afflicted people? Wouldn't slavery be crushing the afflicted?
Ooh, what's Ezekiel 17:6-8?
I don't know.
It talks about how it was about how you can legally beat your slave as long as they don't die within 3 days from the beating.
Of course, because like you'd be cool with that law. We have that law today. So like people commit crimes, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes they resist arrest and then the police have to literally like punch them and stuff.
hmm
But the police can't be too abusive or excessive. But they're allowed to within reason use physical force to restrain a criminal. So this is
Are
that
police
that's
slave masters?
well, who do you think the police are back then?
Are police slave masters?
Yes.
Police are slave masters.
Yes. When you go to jail, you're a slave. You lose your freedom because you're in jail.
Okay, so police.
You see what I'm talking about? This guy's a fucking idiot, man.
How am I an idiot? How is that not? You think people in jail are free?
This guy does not know what he's talking about.
Are people in jail free?
Dude, they have their rights taken away because they committed a crime, but then they
Okay.
have other rights that support their.
So there you go.
to
So
come to
you're
court
not.
and to explain their
So we're
situation
all
and
on.
to see-
There we go. That
Dude, you're
explains
just a
it.
dumbass.
That explains it. There you go. So you understand. So when
They
we
have
look,
the right to remain silent. Slaves have no rights.
So how about this? Slaves are people that are under indentured
well,
servitude.
if slaves have no rights, then the people in the Bible aren't slaves because these people have rights. So you just debunked yourself. But in the South, slaves had rights. But here's the catch, right? In slavery in the American South, slaves were not allowed to testify in court. So you could violate their rights and they couldn't testify against you, right? But in the Hebrew system, the slaves could testify against their master, so that it wasn't the same.
Yeah, don't listen to him. So anyways, a slave is somebody that's under
Don't
indentured
listen to
servitude
him.
an individual. Hello, sir.
Hello.
We're in the bath. Yes, sir. That last guess was
All right, when you get out of the bath, you can come back.
Last guess was trouble, Dean. Anyway, so a slave is somebody that's under indentured servitude to an individual. What exactly? Who exactly has indentured servitude to cops?
So if you look at the 16th Amendment, that was the amendment that ratified the slaves. Did you even know that? You probably didn't, right? Just admit you didn't know that.
It was 13, 14, and 15, first of all.
Was it?
Not 16. Yeah. 13, 14, 15. Citizenship, birthright citizenship.
Okay, the 13th Amendment. You're right. Okay,
ability,
so
right,
the 13th
well,
Amendment, that's what freed the slaves, right? But there's an exception about prisoners.
Mhm.
So prisoners are considered slaves.
No, that bill or that amendment freed the slaves.
Yeah, but it makes an exception to prisoners. So it would define.
Prisoners are not slaves.
Then why does it have an exception? It said all slaves are free except
So
prisoners.
this would be like an appeal to like law. This would be just for the
Oh my
authority.
fucking god, dude!
If they're not slaves, then why does the government say they
All
are?
right, I'm not going to talk to you
That's what
anymore.
you're saying right now.
I'm not going to talk to you anymore. You're just clearly dishonest.
That last guess was okay. Last guess was trouble. Can you stomp your foot for me?
Yo, Precept Mars, you're still a fucking fat ass, by the way.
Oh, don't attack his character. Attack his
I can't argue with that.
No, I'm not attack how he likes 8-year-olds and younger. He doesn't discriminate.
Why is that wrong? Why is that wrong?
Yeah, sure. So they can antagonize. What? They don't have to hold one way or the other. Our agency doesn't have the capacity. SXV.
Can they consent to eating a hamburger?
Precept. Did you say that there's nothing wrong with intercourse with people 8-year-olds and younger? You see what I'm saying here? We have every
Yeah,
right
that's
to
what I
attack
said.
this character. Hold on, guys. If you don't know, he's been around for years, bro. Like everyone knows he's a PDF.
Yeah, everyone
Everyone
knows.
just trolls the fuck out of him.
Yeah, everybody knows that. Everyone knows that.
He's
everyone.
very open about it.
Totally. It's true.
He's
all
true.
true.
By the way,
Yeah.
he has a DUI number for connected to someone a minor. Okay, hold on.
Yep.
I'm gonna ask myself. It's totally fine to have intercourse with 8-year-old girls. You said?
Sure. Why not?
What? Why not?
Yeah. Why is it wrong?
Do you see what I mean, man? Do you see why I've been attacking this guy? Please provide an argument. Wait. Okay, I'm not on this side, but please provide an argument so this dumb fuck can actually just like don't take the piss. Mars, don't you think on the same category to keep up pissing as a fucking pedophile?
Can someone translate? I can't understand them.
I say, do you feed on the same category the kid of pissing? You what?
I don't know what he's saying.
I don't know what you say either.
Wait, are you like
Press up. What? I mean, like, what is it? So like this fool,
right now?
yeah, Q-Tip or whatever the fuck his name is, like, we all know he's a fucking pedophile, so I think that.
Okay, but like,
He's on the same category.
but to say it's wrong to be a PDF file, wouldn't you have to assume the Bible's true? Because you would need Jesus to like make it wrong.
Oh, yes, because the Bible is telling me to fuck with that.
Why else would it be wrong?
I just gotta go ahead and like do it.
Why else would it be wrong?
Can we all pause for a second? I would like to add
If I just evolved to like children, why is that wrong?
That's crazy, by the way.
Well, if it's just a big bang, chemicals, and there's no God, it doesn't matter.
Smash your skull, and is that wrong?
Well, I'm just saying that's.
So we can rehabilitate you to help you.
I'm just saying, like when you say, when you act, I'm just saying, like from my point of view, when you act morally outraged about pedophilia, to me that tells me that you're a Christian, or you're acting like a Christian. Because if there's no God, you shouldn't care. There's no reason to care about that.
This is how we know it's wrong. That's why you're a racist piece of shit. This is the do you consider homosexuals to be like of some disability of some sort?
Well, that's what science used to say, and then we decided that it's wrong for science to say that, and then now we go, it's normal.
Right? But like, if you think those people are disabled, right, we can give them rehabilitation since they can't control their attraction. We can do the same for pedophiles. Are you willing to go into rehabilitation?
No. I just want to know why it's wrong.
So you're actually freely choosing to engage with that attraction while acknowledging that it's harmful. So you actually just defeated yourself, sir.
I don't think it's always harmful. I think we can point to.
Shut the fuck up, Lars. Like, from my point of view, seriously, you only need to read the Bible to become a fucking mental disabled fuck like B Mars.
It's always the Christians.
Like that guy.
This is why you represent the Christian worldview. I sincerely hope that you actually meet a couple Christians in real life, and they show you what it's all about, sir.
Well, it seems to me like you guys
Sir,
are.
when's the last time you left your house? Your property premises, sir? When's the last time you left your house?
I don't know.
Yo, let's debate.
You don't know?
No.
Sir, why would you ever want to debate a pedophile? I want to ask you that question.
Why is it wrong to be?
No.
For one,
I think the guy is just like.
I've already
fight an argument, sir. I've committed you to a reductio that's inseparable of your worldview. So you acknowledge that pedophilia is actually in fact wrong, right?
No, he's just accidentally just saying he's a fucking pedophile because he's a mom. He's actually stupid.
Dude, he's not absolutely stupid if he can put up a debate and speak coherently about Christianity and read verses and try to explain them. He's not. He's just trying to play the
Answer his
victim.
question.
If you're falling for that, you're a fucking dumbass. He's a pedophile.
answer his
Plain and
question.
simple.
No, he's a fucking nonce.
You guys are funny.
Like,
Sir, have you ever engaged in any inappropriate act with someone under the age of 18?
Obviously, yeah, it's fun, right? Doesn't everyone do that?
No, this is going straight to PD. This is going
That's fine.
straight to your local police
That's
department,
fine.
sir.
That's great. Send it to him.
That's fine, sir. Do you enjoy jail time with no bail or bond?
Who's the victim?
You know, just
You, sir. You're the victim of your own actions, sir.
I thought to go to jail doesn't there have to be a victim? Who's the victim?
Sir, you're a victim of your own actions, sir.
Okay.
You've just committed yourself to
Well,
a crime.
why don't you go call the police? Go call the police then. Yeah.
Sir, I am, sir. As much as free speech goes in
The-
the United States.
Think about all the children that can
committing
get.
yourself to
The longer you're taking to call the cops, the more.
committing yourself to a crime is punishable by law. Sir.
The longer you're taking to call the cops, the more children are going to get hurt.
If I say I brought a bomb into an airplane, sir, they're gonna arrest me if someone reports.
I
that,
could
sir.
be abusing a child off camera right now, and you're not calling the cops.
Whoa. You could be.
I could be abusing a child right now while we're talking.
Are you abusing a
Off
child
camera.
sir?
this guy.
Why don't you call the cops? You better call the cops.
You've just committed yourself to essentially saying by engaging in something with a child, you're abusing them. And you have in fact conceded that you do.
Why aren't you calling the
engage in
cops?
something with
It's
a
like
child,
you.
you
It's
have
like
to-
you actually don't care.
Wait. So you've just committed yourself to admitting that you have abused a child before.
Why don't you call the cops? Dude, the kid's crying. You're just gonna let the kid cry? You're not gonna help it?
Sir, now you've just admitted to holding a child
Yeah,
hostage.
I admit it. I admit
Sir,
I have.
Thank you very much.
I have a
I'll see you in
bunch-
few minutes.
Okay, great.
P. Mars, is it true that your mom switched it to the dark side? I mean, I say it once, but since like you don't fucking get it, is it true that she was chucking on the black dog?
It's like West, you know, your voice is just so West. What have you been saying? Go on, tell me.
Holy shit, man.
What is it now?
TikTok. Time to rock.
All right, let's just debate Christianity, man. All right. Is because I just think it's pretty evil. I think like the Christian God, I don't really know about other religions, but the Christian God, the idea of it is evil to me, and it's just
Okay.
logical the way I think about it.
That's your sin. That's not logic. That's sin. So you're suppressing the truth. Then.
You know, it's my God-given brain, and I'm using that brain for my intelligence to come to my conclusion. God-given, whatever. And it's not my choice that I was given this brain. It's God's plan, I suppose. So it wasn't my choice of my environment. That was God's plan. And just for that, what is it? I'm going to be burned eternally in hell. It's not if I'm
You're saying like to make it more sure, we don't need to believe in this like made up bullshit written on a fucking book.
God says you have a choice.
Is he Christian or atheist?
In life, every time you make a choice, you either choose love or you choose not love, right?
No, by nature, we know physical laws, and the Bible goes against that, telling us that Jesus walks on water and made bread and wine into whatever. I've not really read the Bible, honestly, but yeah. And obviously, through that, we can use our brains, which were given to us in the Bible, says by God. And we can come to a conclusion. I mean, there's no actual proof that we can, as many beings, as the population has gone up so much. I mean, here's my analogy, right? Imagine I was God, and I had a little science experiment in my room, and I created a world. and I could create people, but I hard coded it so the people would. I knew the whole thing. I was just omnibenevolent, omnipotent, but I called myself this, and the only way to live an afterlife into whatever the thing is, heaven and hell, which I think is just complete. I think the idea of that is just absurd. I think that it seems fake. The idea of heaven and hell. It's also not how I want things to happen. I think I'd rather go out and just how it was before I was born, compared to compared to it coming down to being the chosen one. And being the chosen one is dependent on whether you accept and worship a creator who hasn't shown himself to you and hasn't given you evidence for him. And you come to that conclusion given your brain, which is here now and supposedly is God, because God is everywhere.
So you could unalive yourself, but you don't. Why not?
Okay, so you're asking me why I'm not like a nihilist. Like, if I don't believe in God, what do I have? Is that what you're asking?
What is the purpose of your life?
The purpose of my life is, well, I do ask a question because, by the way, I don't believe in God, but I am scared. I am scared that God's true. Like, I'm scared that could be a reality. Like, I don't want it to be true because I will go to hell. I know that for a fact. I don't want to believe that, and I also just. I'm not drawn to it. I'm not drawn to other people. Like, it's not even out of like hate or anything. I don't care. But
No, but like something that people can prove is the heaven and hell are fictional places. They use these fucking places to like induce race, induce fear, when in reality these fucking places don't exist. Heaven and hell don't exist.
So I think this guy agrees with me, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I don't believe in God, here's what I have. I have my mum, I have my dad. I have some friends and shit. Like, I have like my music, and like I think like even without God, you have all that, and that's all the stuff that you actually have. You don't have God. You don't have God. I mean, God isn't something you have. God is.
March, I think it's time for us to leave. The pussy just shut up, so let Mars have fun with the pussy.
You're an adult. What a normal thing to say.
Yes, because the sis that's the only pussy you have. Because what the fuck wants to date a 4-eyed fucker like you?
Rasul, when are we gonna talk about Prisa? Do you want to talk, Rasul?
I don't know. Just try to agree with me. Try to agree with me. All right, cool beans.
All right. I'll kick these freaks. How do I invite them? What the heck? Why can't I invite him? I don't know. I can't like. Oh, here it is. What's up, Rasul?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Sweet. I heard you took a break from debating.
Yeah, like just like a week or 2 weeks. I don't know how long it was.
Because of all the gaslighting?
Yeah, plus people were like stalking my account for some reason. It was weird.
Oh. Okay, so what?
But yeah, people are super dishonest and like it's frustrating because even after you defeat their view, like they'll run it like a week later. And you're like, what the hell? Like I just like
Not even a week. They'll literally run it again in the same conversation. What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like you just defeated it and they'll run it again.
They just repeat themselves so they don't respond to your argument.
It's crazy because once somebody shows it's defeated for my view, I actually abandon the view and I don't run it again. So like, I think that's the difference between like an honest and like a dishonest person. But yeah, dude, like dude, I'm a huge tag I love tag, but I just think that we have to motivate the necessity claim. You can't just assert it. I think
Yeah.
it's a huge flaw if you just assert it without proper motivation behind it.
Well, I would agree. I think the best way to motivate it is in a way that it's like so obvious and undeniable. Where like I would say, well, what has to be true for facts for us to have facts? Like there's preconditions for facts.
I'm starting to read Quine. Are you familiar with Quine?
I've read one of his papers, The Two Dogmas of Empiricism, but that's it. But I know Bonson talks about him a lot, likes him.
Yeah, and I was just like introduced him like not too long ago, not too long ago, like in last year. But like it's actually pretty cool. Even though he was an atheist, like he had some pretty cool argumentation. Where he has this like knowledge of like a weaker truth, you know, like we're just like analyzing like conceptual schemes and seeing how these schemes are actually like pan out versus just making assertions about something. And I think that's a very, in my opinion, that's a very like effective approach. Because then like you ask the atheist, like, okay, dude, like under this concept that we're invoking, like what is your contention? You know, like it's obvious that God doesn't fail to draw knowledge if we're honest with the usage of the concept that we're invoking.
But we have different ultimate authorities of what's true. So that's going to affect how we evaluate any argument or evidence. So I think when we're trying to evaluate because we're talking about whose worldview is true at the end of the day, we have to talk about our ultimate authorities. So like,
yeah, but we actually agree with what truth is actually trying to like point to. Like we're actually agreeing that there's like some kind of correspondence to reality. So like we have to like
sometimes they
use,
deny that.
like the things. Yeah, I know. But there's actually defeaters that when people try to like deny correspondence theory, I think you can like reduct the other view where it just becomes like incoherent and just completely like trash. So like yeah, I even welcome people that push back on some of the concepts that we're trying to like invoke. But I think finding that common ground within the concepts that we use to like argue these things is actually very effective. Because I've seen people try to like deny correspondence theory. It's like, dude, like this is like look what you're doing. Like when you deny correspondence theory, this is some of the stuff that's gonna occur, right? And you just point that out in the worldview, and you just reducted the worldview, and I think that's very effective versus just like making claims and like.
But I think what I'm saying is like you can't deny facts, right? Like denying facts is more absurd than denying correspondence theory, right? I mean, I guess there might be like close.
Yeah,
but
they overlap a little bit, yeah.
I'm also thinking about the audience. Like everyone can understand fact, right? Everyone kind of knows, but when you start talking about abstract theories of knowledge, then.
But the audience, they glaze these like pseudo intellectuals like in the space. Yeah. This is the people that we have to go after because like
that's what the Bible. The Bible.
These idiots, like
the Bible talks about that. The Bible says there's going to be itching ears, and they'll refuse correction, and they're going to be looking that the crowd is. Are you going to at the end of the day? Are you a crowd seeker or are you a truth seeker? Because they're not the same. Most the people you're interacting with are crowd seekers, and they don't care about. They don't want to be corrected. They want to be popular. So some.
But don't you think that we have to like slay that? Like not slay them, but like we have to like defeat them in order to be able to get across.
No.
To like the real people that seek, because like under like what I see is like people seem to believe that like the philosophical space is like just defeating, destroying all theists, right? But we have to like show them, no, dude, like, that's not the case. Like theism is like a lot more rational of a worldview than any worldview that an atheist can produce.
Okay, but
It surpasses like any like through expansion, whatever. Like it's more parsimonious. It's just such a superior view.
okay, but
It's
how do we measure success, right? Because like the world is going to measure success by like, oh, how many numbers do you have? How many people do you convert? How many followers? That's how the world. See, like David did this too. King David, when he did the census, he wanted to count the number of horses and chariots because those represented power, like military power. So you see, he's like trusting in the number of horses and chariots. He's trusting in that for his salvation. He's not trusting in God. So I think we measure success by obedience to God and His Word, and I don't worry about like think about Jesus. Jesus gave perfect arguments. Jesus never hurt anyone, but the world rejected him. Everything he said was true, but everyone rejected him. So we should expect people to reject the truth and do the crowd seeking thing.
yeah, no, that's 100% true. Yeah, Jesus went after like the people that were seeking truth, not the crowd pleasers. He didn't sit there and argue with the Pharisees. Well, he kind of did sometimes, but his main like focus was like people seeking understanding and truth. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I would just push back on the circularity of the argument, even if you want to use like more layman rhetoric or like just common words to like push back on it. But that's the only critique that I have of some of the tag arguments that are being ran. Did you see the Kylo and the Q-Top debate?
Like a little. I thought it was boring, so I turned it off because they just like started yelling. But I watched maybe like 5 minutes.
But I don't like Q-Top. I think he's an idiot. But like his argument was like exposed as like very circular. You know what I mean?
What was it?
And like he didn't have a good counter to it.
Here, why don't we listen to it? I actually thought as I strongly dislike Q-Top, but get low on battery. I strongly dislike Q-Top, but from what I remember, he's doing the argument well. And I was actually kind of impressed. Which I hate to say it, because I would love to talk shit. I don't like him at all.
Yeah, I don't like that he pushes flat earth. Or like, he seems like a little bit of a grifter. So
He's a crowd seeker.
Yeah.
When Kylo, now I have to find it. Oh, here it is. Kylo versus Q-Top.
With that, because then after they said we're going to actually go on a private live stream. There's too many people that's going on a private live stream. So everything that Shekiana said was literally patently false, and her position.
There's a place where Kylo asked him, you know, like, what's the contradiction of like somebody like claiming something's true and not presupposing?
Okay,
that?
I remember that. I saw that part.
Yeah, and that's where like
And he's
circularity in taking the question.
Well, no, I could give the contradiction. The P and not P is you assume the preconditions and you deny the preconditions. What Q-Top said was to even have a P and not P, you need Christian metaphysics. What Q-Top is right.
It's correct, yeah, but like the way it comes across
I would have said you assume the P and not P is you assume the precondition and you deny the precondition. That's the P and not P. So, and it's a performative contradiction. It's not a logical contradiction. So that's something a lot of people don't understand. It's a little bit of a difference, but it's just because it's not logical doesn't mean it's like not a contradiction. It's still a contradiction.
Yeah, I would agree with the performance contradiction part of it. But yeah, see, and this is like the whole thing. Like, I actually agree with like the conclusion, that keeps up runs, but like I just don't like the approach and
But
the way that it's ran.
because there's two things I mean, any transcendental argument is going to be inherently circular. That's what they're supposed to be like that, because
But benign circularity is different than vicious circularity. You agree with that, right?
do you know the difference?
Yeah, so like benign would be more like a holistic view that all the pieces kind of like engage and like support each other versus just like an assertion of like something's true because they say it's true, you know, like that kind of approach.
Well, circularity would be if we're talking about ultimate authorities, they're going to have to be circular. Like within the justice system, how do you know the Supreme Court interprets the law correctly? Because the Supreme Court interprets the law correctly. It's circular.
Yeah, but it's like it would be like like you wouldn't just make a blind assertion. You would like go through the whole process of like how we came about to like choosing the Supreme Court. You know, like why we gave them that power to be able to interpret the law.
So yeah, how do you know what's is the right ultimate authorities? You have to evaluate ultimate authorities.
Correct, and that evaluation, that's what we're talking
So, but
about.
that's always going to be.
Evaluative would be the conceptual schema analysis of what that worldview is entailing, like, how we came up to understand like why God is the supreme being, like what makes him the supreme being. We can't just like say that God is the supreme being because we assert that he's the supreme being. Like we have to kind of like motivate.
That's not what, dude. That's not what we're saying. We're saying we both have a circle, right? The non-believer has a circle, and I have a circle, right? So we got two circles. So how do we motivate my circle versus your circle, right? Do you understand? Are you denying the non-believer has a circle?
No, they have a circle too.
Okay, so there's two circles. So we have two circles. Okay. Now, how I have to motivate you have to believe my circle over your circle, right?
Correct.
Okay, so the motivation is going to be this. Your circle has to borrow from my circle. So your circle is not self-contained, but my circle doesn't borrow from yours. My circle is self-contained. That's what we're saying. Cuz like
Yes.
there's no absolute in your circle. My circle has an absolute.
No, I agree with the conclusion of the argument. I'm just disagreeing with the approach because the individual doesn't understand why we're saying that their circle is borrowing from our circle. And if we explain to them, you know, that their circle minus, if we subtract the God from everything, then their worldview spirals into this like vicious circularity, or it spirals into the 3 horns of Agripa Shalem. I love Agripa Shalem. I don't know why I didn't know about this like a long time ago. But like if we like show them why their worldview fails, it is such a strong argument versus just saying that it fails.
Well, yeah, that's the reductio ad absurdum. You stand on their metaphysics and show them why it fails. But for you to do that, they have
But they
to.
don't get that. For some reason, they don't understand that. Like it's weird because when I like introduce it to them, like they don't have a rebuttal, you know, and they start like crashing out, and they'll start doing like where they try to like attack my worldview, like, well, my worldview fails, but so does yours, and that's where I go into the no, hold on.
Yeah, do you think you have a do you have a solution to the trilemma?
Yeah, I would use the Quine and benign circularity approach, and how that we can make weak assertions about truth, just to analyze the worldview. And once the worldview shows
okay,
to have,
but that's
power,
that doesn't work.
then we can move it to the strong sense of truth.
Quine doesn't work though.
It does work. What would be your pushback on it?
It's arbitrary.
No, but that's the thing. It's arbitrary in the sense that we're not. Yes, we're like going back and forth on the concepts that are being invoked. But in order for truth to be like defended, like there are concepts that we have to like agree on, or the whole conversation just collapses. So like this is where I'm saying like we take what they agree on and we build on that.
Okay, but what you're doing, I don't understand. Like, Quine doesn't defeat the trilemma. Quine falls victim to the trilemma. So
Yeah, no, because Quine was an atheist. I agree.
okay, so why are you why? But okay, so why are you using his metaphysics when he's not even a fucking Christian? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Hold on, do you think that the concepts that are being invoked actually have anything to do with like I'm invoking some of the principles that he introduced, and those principles can be used to motivate my worldview.
No.
Hold on, what's the contradiction with that?
Why would there have to be a contradiction? So like
No, because you said it doesn't. So what would be the problem with me invoking principles
Hey.
introduced by Quine to motivate my worldview?
what do you mean by principles? I'm not sure what
Yeah, so he introduced the whole like using
a system.
like a weaker sense of truth to like analyze conceptual schemes.
Yeah, that's his system.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you use that
So-
system to analyze the
Do you
Christian
think that
worldview,
system floats independently from worldviews? There's no system that floats independently from worldviews that we use to analyze worldviews.
explain what that even means? Like, what are you trying to mean? Like, what do you mean?
You can't divorce his system from his worldview, and then attach. You're like Frankenstein.
Yes,
That
yes,
doesn't.
you can. No, yes, you can. What? You're saying that because I use a system, I have to adopt atheism. That's just confused.
What's his epistemology?
What do you mean? What's his epistemology? Like, is he like?
Is that what we're talking about?
No, you
His
said
theory of
because he's an
knowledge.
atheist. This is what you said. Because he's an atheist, and if I use a system, then I'm
his system is an
believing that
epistemology.
Atheism is true.
His system is an epistemology, right? That's what we're talking about.
Well, I'm invoking
Is the system an
approach.
epistemology?
It's a meta ontological framework that he uses to.
Okay, so that's going to include epistemology and ontology, right?
Correct.
Okay. So that isn't Christian. His ontology and are you so stupid? His epistemology is secular. He has a secular epistemology. So you can't what?
Open your ears. Listen to what you're saying, right? Like concepts and principles are not atheist. Any concept that we're invoking, whether the individual like recognizes it or not, are coming from God. Like I'm a divine conceptualist. I think everything that's being invoked, even if the atheist doesn't give credit to God, comes from God, right? But I'm not going to argue that way. I'm going to build on things that we agree on, right?
Okay, so what's his
Even if the
epistemology?
even if the atheist doesn't give credit to God, I'm going to use these concepts that they're invoking to my advantage. I don't know. You're so lost. This is what frustrates me about you. Like,
I don't even know what the epistemology is. What's the epistemology? You haven't told me. What's your epistemology?
What's my epistemology?
It seems like you're getting epistemology from Quine to justify your worldview. That's what I'm hearing.
No.
Am I?
No. I'm using principles under Quine's framework
Is his framework and epistemology? What are we talking about? Are we talking about justification? What are we talking about?
Dude, we're talking about motivation.
Okay, so is that epistemology? Is that epistemology? Is that epistemology? Am I dumb? Am I dumb?
Yes, you fucking moron.
Okay, so what is the fucking epistemology?
Dude, I don't agree with his epistemology. I don't agree with his conclusion. I'm just using his tools, you fucking tool. You're a fucking idiot.
What the fuck? What the
My gosh, this is why you get your ass blown out every day because you don't know how to argue in good faith. Fuck. Anyways, I gotta go to church. Hopefully you fucking like work on your argument. It's dog shit. It's circular and it's harming the Christian cause. Hopefully you'll take that into consideration and try to like come up with better argumentation. Have a good day.
Yes.